Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. It's a bit of a slower week waiting for a fusion, but wait, we've got a new twist on a common enough recent event, plus some summoning stuff coming up for CVC, so we'll take a look. First thing to note, just in case you guys miss it, we do have the fusion warm-up event. It's not too important, but doing a little tiny bit of artifact upgrading every day to get yourself some energy, which is nice, an ancient shard, some multi-battles, and so on. So worth doing. But yeah, CVC is the big thing and the events that are going to be on during it. So let's go. This is personal rewards CVC. And yeah, these are like the whatever the rewards this time around. There may be clan relic materials in here. Really don't know. Of course, it's personal rewards CVC and well, just any CVC. I will be streaming. I don't remember. Did I miss the last one because of something? I think I missed a recent one because of needing to go to the vet, which, by the way, is now all clear. We had to get like a urine sample with like a needle, a cytokinesis or something. I don't know what. Something like that. They had to take a urine sample directly from Fia's bladder because they were worried it was like a UTI that was resistant to antibiotics. But then it came back, it was all clear. So I don't know. Hey, I don't know exactly what was going on, but hey, we got the all clear. So it's all good, I guess. Yeah, I will be here for this one. Long story short. So yeah, catch me for the start of this. I will be streaming and we'll go for like 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, just chat about the game basically and do the stuff. It's going to be fun. Now, events going on during this. Now, let's actually look at the spicy one first, which is on Wednesday. So you got to wait a couple of days. It's not on Tuesday, but Wednesday. Awakening Boost event, a familiar one. However, it's a 2x for 4. I don't know why they emphasis on 5, but 4, 5, and 6-star perfect souls for Mortal Soulstone. So obviously, they've emphasized the 5 italics right there, but they have done 5 and 6-star before. It's the 4-star in there that is new. So yeah, all the different permutations of events that they're going to drop. Now, what I'm really waiting for is when they drop a 2x for every rarity. Now, if they double the chances of all the rare, then nothing actually changes. It should just revert back to them all being the same, I suppose, because it couldn't go above 100%. Anyway, but yeah, 4, 5, and 6-star doubled. So you'll have an 8% chance for a 4-star, 3% for a 5-star, and 1.5 for a 6-star, which means that like 1 in 10 soulstones is going to be actually decent, which is kind of cool. Obviously, they're mostly going to be rare champions, of course. But there's a good few epics in there. This is actually a great event. This is a great little event. So this is probably the best time to pull your Mortal Soulstones. Mortal Soulstones are not very good. Certainly before this, they've absolutely not been worth buying. Unless like you're just brand new to the game and you literally don't have any souls. But, that kind of suck. So this event is nice. Personally, I probably will pull all of mine. We did just have the souls be part of a deck of fate. For the Tholan Soul and the Chaos events, Titan event, and all of that stuff. So I think we probably will have a little bit of time before there's another Soul event. And obviously, you're not going to be pulling your big Soul Stones for this. They are not boosted, just the Mortals. So I think it's a great time to pull Mortal Soul Stones. I'm going to be pulling mine. I've got 120. It's going to be a good time, I guess. So yeah, cool. Good stuff. Now, we also have summoning events on Tuesday, and then a different one on Wednesday. And there's some spicy champs in here. So we've got Newt. Oh, bad line. Newt's the big one here. Kimmy's decent. Lysandra is decent. I think they're relatively similar, honestly. Esme, I think similar as well. Now, Armand's is also a big one. And then we'll come back to the Voids in a second. On Wednesday, we've got a faction unity on Wednesday. So Admiral Blacktusk, the Admirable Admiral. Say that 10 times fast. Grand Oak Podrick, I think, is also really good as well. Prisma, I think, is quite decent. Mad Hatter, I'm a big fan of. Actually like him a lot. I put him up maybe here. And Lanathril is decent. So that's this would be my feeling on these. I do lean more towards the ally attack champs as opposed to just the the speed boosters. But I don't know. I just feel like the ally attack champions are a little less replaceable than the speed boosters. But, these might be clutch for your account. I mean, you do see every now and then in Arena, the odd person that has, an empowered 6-star Lysandra, and they're really fast. And, you typically don't ban that champ. So they get their fastest champ through the draft in Live Arena all the time. But same thing with Lady Kimmy. You run into some really fast Lady Kimmys. They're not super common because there's better champions. Like an R-base is sort of better than both of them. But, you get the gist, right? Because they're more accessible. And they could be really good. And Esme, I think, is similar as well. She's pretty good for Hydra, whereas Kimmy's decent. Lissandra's not great for Hydra. The big one, let's touch on the big ones though. So Newt, I'm putting Newt as number 1, probably overall, which is a bold choice being the faction unity. But if you don't have a Newt, it is that big of a deal. And it's the way with a lot of, I did my video yesterday on, is the contented raid at the moment too difficult? But certainly whenever they drop like a new event dungeon or new anything, the first thing I do is I just try it with a relatively normal team. I put in just good, solid champions that aren't doing anything like absolutely crazy, just solid champs, and we see if we can do it. Certainly with the event dungeon, they got absolutely destroyed. The second thing we always try to do is, okay, what if we just bring a bunch of Newts and Marius and, we just kill it with enemy max HP and some resets. That's sort of step number 2. Newt is that impactful. Now, funny enough, I'm not using him for the event dungeon. Like, I did show you a team that you could maybe use, but my God, was the gear ridiculous. I mean, the gear's ridiculous for this team as well, of course. But he is so clutch for so many dungeons, particularly Fire Knight hard. Yeah, just that triple hit enemy max HP. To get the most out of him, to be fair, you probably do want a really good reset champ. So something better than Renegade. Something that can fully reset the Newt. But yeah, he's just insanely good, right? Insanely good. And 2 Newts is pretty nice. Definitely Marius and 2 Newts is a very viable strategy for, again, multiple of these areas, because you've got triple hit times 3 enemy max HP. That's 90% enemy max HP. Supplement it with a couple of masteries or a soul reap blessing, whatever, and bam, you've got yourself a dead boss right there. So it's pretty powerful. I'm putting a joint. This is tricky. Admiral Black Tusk or Armans. I'll put them joint second. So joint second for these two. Armans, we all know about Armans, right? Armans is stupidly good, and he's been stupidly helpful as well for faction wars. Like, the guys, he's just absurdly good. Basically, I've done all of the Barbarian faction crypt, basically with just Armans and Thor, and then, just some random support champs. Actually, Loki was quite useful as well for the block active skills. So shout out to Loki as being a bit of a sleeper for it. But yeah, basically, Thor and Armans did 95% of the crypt, just the 2 of them. It's mad. I do think Black Tusk is really good, though, as well. And he's a good one for a Shard event, because normally he's not in the Shard pool, right? You just can't get this champion. You can only get faction unity champions when they are in a 10x or 15x event. The best ones for them wouldn't be this. It would probably be they do a 15x with a double legendary. They've done that a few times, like double legendaries, but the faction unities are in there. So you've got 2 shots to get them, and that's very strong. That's where I've got 1 or 2 of them, actually. So stockpiling shards for that is actually an important strategy. Your ancients and sacreds and whatnot. But yeah, Black Tusk, I think, is really good. Dwarves is a pretty tough faction crypt. I'm not sure how helpful he is against the boss. I mean, he's giving you counterattacks, which is nice. He does remove all buffs, which is nice, because I think it is the reflect damage boss that keeps spamming reflect damage. He would be putting out consistently decrease resist, decrease speed, which is pretty nice as well. Full debuff removal with the ally attack. Yeah, he's very good, and he is very strong as well. I mean, if you fought him in Faction Wars hard, he is a problem. One thing to note about him, which is not obvious knowledge, it's not perhaps intuitive, is Stone Skin. Stone Skin from gear sets, so the Stone Skin gear. The gear set itself gives you a 50% chance to stop the Stone Skin being removed or stolen or whatever, having its duration reduced, I think, as well. Is that protect? I can't remember. But the gear set itself gives you that protection, not the Stone Skin buff. So, again, you'll notice this if you fought him in Faction Wars hard, or if you watch me fight him in Faction Wars hard. This Stone Skin buff, because it's not from the gear set, you can remove it just like any other, but it's the same as increase attack or whatever, increase defense. Doesn't matter. Same thing. You bring in a Madame Ceres, and you can remove this 97% of the time. So there is that to know, but he's still crazy, crazy good. So I think he's very good and very limited. Then I'd be giving Mad Hatter number 3. Now, he was a fusion, so you might not want or need him, in which case you could go for Podrick or Prisma, whichever you prefer. I'm giving the slight edge to Podrick because he's got the full team ally attack. He's got a great passive, a full debuff removal and increased speed, turn meter boost. He does a lot of stuff. Prisma's pretty good too, brings a revive and more of that single target hyper carry type ally attack, same as Mad Hatter. But Mad Hatter's just fantastic. I've got my new clan boss record today. My clan boss team, like I just don't really bother with it, but I was like, oh, in honor of Androck being buffed soon, this is actually pre-buff Androck, but like threw him in with like basically a bunch of ally attack champions and buff champions with a ninja. And we did 1 billion damage. My goal is to do 1.18. I want to one-shot the Ultra Nightmare clan boss. We're not far off. So, yeah, that's kind of fun. So, yeah, Mad Hatter is really, really, really good. There we are. So, they're all reasonable to pull for. Bear in mind, though, as I mentioned at the start of the video, we do have the fusion coming up. So, don't spend shards chasing this. Unless you're very endgame and you think that these will make a massive difference to your account. And otherwise, if you're close to Mercy, then sure, go for them. And, whatever. Let's say you've got a 1 in 20. We're rounding it down a little bit, but just to give you the odds, 1 in 20 shot that you get the champion that you pick. Let's say you put in Newt, you pull shards until you get a legendary. It's a legendary. 1 in 20, it's the Newt. 19 out of 20, it's not. Understand your odds. They suck, okay? But if you're close to Mercy, yeah, like if I was bang on, if I was deep into Mercy, I'd be pulling for Black Tusk, no question, right? Because it's a freaking faction unity. So that's my thoughts on that. For the Voids, we just came out of 2x Voids. I did pull an extra 20 Void shards myself, didn't get anything out of them exciting, but I managed to win my tournament, which was fun. And then I got the really shit epic relic from the legendary pieces. That was also fun, but hey, there we go. But from the Voids, we got Chalco, Georgid, Arnorn, and then we've got supports the next day with ally attack supports, in fact, Senna, Cardial, and Insensa. These are very good. To keep it simple, I would pick Senna. Yep, I just think Senna's insane. Dwarf Faction Crypts is, I think, pretty hard on hard mode. I've got the 2 mythicals. It's pretty hard. Senna makes it so much easier, and she's obviously makes Chimera so much easier as well. And very auto-friendly as well, Senna. So, yeah, definitely I'd super recommend Senna for day 2. Day 1, Arnorn. So, dwarves, both days. Arnorn is insanely good. Absolutely huge damage and an absolutely crazy passive where it prevents his death and gives him Stone Skin. It's ridiculous. And then he activates this huge AoE attack that does massive damage. The guy's an absolute monster. He is terrifying, very difficult to deal with. Just a top-tier arena nuker. Now, he's perhaps not quite as useful outside of arena. He'd be a monster for Faction Wars. But yeah, he's not quite as good outside of the arena or Faction Wars, but he's just so unbelievably good there that I think he's well worth using. So there you go. Lucky if you've got him as well. Chalco is very good as well. Georgid is good too. I would probably lean more towards Chalco. I feel like there have been more champions that do what Georgid does, which is the super squishy, but I one-shot someone under Stone Skin. His advantage is he can one-shot someone under Stone Skin, then get an extra turn for his AoE. And he has got nice short cooldowns, but you're quite random. Does his passive trigger? Like infinite damage. If the passive doesn't trigger, still crazy damage, but not quite as good. I do think Georgid's very good, but there are more champions now that do a similar thing. You don't see him as much. Chalco I do quite like. I've seen Chalco a little bit in Arena, actually, simply because of the block actives, and he can't be CC'd, right? So he's immune to crowd control. So I've seen him run against like Armans and stuff like that because he just, one-shots them back, and the block passive skills is pretty cool. He's super squishy. I've not seen him a ton, mind you, but I've seen him a little bit. Probably seen him more than Georgid recently, actually, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, Chalco is pretty darn good. I'm rating the Voids maybe separately. This maybe is a bit misleading. Let's put them up a bit. Like they're very solid. I'd probably put them something like that. I put Chalco maybe a little bit below Mad Hatter. I probably prefer, if you said, Nub, you could have Chalco or you could have Mad Hatter, I'd actually rather have Mad Hatter just because he's so good for the clan bosses. Whereas Chalco is ridiculously good for Hydra. I was super impressed with them there. But so is Mad Hatter. So I'd rather have Hatter personally. That's how I'd rate them. Cardial and Insensa. Cardial is very solid. And Insensa is very solid. I'd actually I realize now I've made a mess. I've made some of my lines too long and whatnot. Some of them are too long. How do I erase? We've made a mess. Oh shit! Now the whole line's gone. Oh no. Sorry. I would put maybe Insensa around there, and I would make Cardio smaller. I'd rather have yeah, there we go. Actually, that looks decent. I'd rather have Insensa than Cardio. I think Insensa is pretty clutch. She's in some pretty powerful teams. Again, that sort of hyper carry, her A1, sorry, where the ally with the highest crit damage joins in, and she can spam that thing with AoE decrease attack. She also brings the AoE decrease defense and weaken, which is nice. She's got like some fun turn meter stuff happening in her passive, and she's got like the only champion still with Poison Cloud. But I think that this is a bit awkward on auto, right? She's gonna just target random people, which is kind of annoying. Or like it has sort of like a very complicated logic, so it should be semi-consistent, but not fully consistent. And that makes it really hard to build an auto team around it. But she is pretty cool. So I do quite like her. Cardial is just really solid. Lots of healing. Great ally attack. Revive on death at the cleanse block debuffs. Great champion. My gosh. But yeah, I'd probably lean towards the others. So there we go. I do feel like I've maybe made the Chalco line a bit long. I put Cardial probably similar to Chalco. I put Insensa maybe a bit ahead. But yeah, for me, number one, Newt and Admiral Blacktusk stand out. Armans and Mad Hatter stand out. Senna and Arnorn, but all of the Voids are pretty good. So it's actually a pretty good set of summons. Not a huge surprise. It's a personal reward CVC, and it's before a fusion. So they're dropping in some pretty decent stuff. For me, am I going to pull? The answer is no. I'm nowhere close to Void Mercy, so I'm not pulling all my Void shards for something I might not even get a legendary. And then, I don't know, off the top of my head, was it like a 1 in 10 shot that it's the Void legendary? Maybe slightly better than that, but 9 times out of 10, it's not. Again, I never keep up with the exact odds because it always changes every time. And like, you just need the rough rule of thumb. Which is that it's very, very unlikely even still to be the one that you want. But if I was close to Mercy, would I pull for this? Yes, I would. For Senna, I would target Senna. Senna. If I was, coming out of the Void weekend, 2x weekend, I'm really close to Mercy, but I didn't get it, I'd be pulling any extra Void shards I had just for the chance for Senna, because I think she's just super helpful, right? Makes Dwarf Faction Wars a breeze, and just all this turn meter is insane. And the fact that she's giving you increased speed and tons of healing and turn meter, she has a full revive with ally attack. So helpful for Chimera. Like, she's a huge deal. So yeah, I would be looking for her. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Like I said, for me, I'm not summoning anything, but I will pull all my soul stones for 5 and 6-star souls. Hopefully we'll get lots of them. It might make the CVC points a bit higher than usual, because probably most people will be pulling mortals, though, mortals are still kind of shitty, so it's not. I mean, if people whip out some 6-star souls, though, it's a pretty big deal. Hang on, let me see. Is there get champions for the first time? Ascend champions? No. Get perfect soul. So yeah, I mean, if you get a 6-star epic soul, it's 10k points. A 6-star legendary is 30k. 6-star mythical is 60k. These souls popping out of these soul stones, guys, it could give you a ton of points, if you're lucky. So yeah, this could really inflate the points for CVC, so watch out for it. It's going to be a spicy CVC. I will see you for it tomorrow. I imagine we are going to be going hard early, so that no matter what happens on Wednesday, we are in position to smash. So I'll see you for that. It's going to be fun. Let me know what you think about all this stuff, and I'll obviously see you. There's obviously going to be Fusion Showcase and the Fusion actually starting this week and everything, so stay tuned. I'll see you for that and any other news. Until then, goodbye. Have a good day. That's a weird way to end the video. I've never ended it like that before. I don't know. What do I normally say for the 1,000+ videos I've made, I presume? I don't know. See ya.